What's going on? What's going on? You know what time it is. You know what time it is. I'm your gracious host, A6, and live and direct. We have the misbehaving coyote.
Well, wait a minute. I'm the A6, the foreign national born natural. Who is this?
Hey, yo, I don't know where you got that from, but it completely threw me off guard. Like I'm setting up, and I look up. I'm like, what is this? Yo, you're a wild boy, man. You know,
It's your boy Z9, the foreign national. Grind
Z9.
time.
Yo, you wild, man. What's up with you, man?
Oh man. Woo. All right. What's up? What's up?
What's good? What's
Uh,
good? Yo, we supposed to have finest thing walking here to jump on live. It was supposed to be the three of us chopping up game. He might be a little bit late. Though. I know I'm a little bit late. I had a prior engagement I had to take care of, but you know, we're doing the damn thing now. So man, what's really happening though, man? I'm hearing people talk about the crypto movement heavy, dude. People are talking about XRP real heavy. If we can start off with that, man. How do you feel about that whole thing?
well, I did a consultation today, man. Let me tell you, it's been so wild, bro, that wild is starting to seem normal to me. Like, I don't even know. Like, this cat was in federal prison chatting with me last night with a cell phone. He got in there,
Okay.
asking about some things, how to move around. And the other cat was talking about XRP as well. The White House just issued a statement that they're designing the U.S. Digital dollar, and that they're basically finna move on that. Other people were just asking me the day or so before that, and they're like, "You don't think that's gonna happen? They're not gonna." I was like, "Oh, it's happening." I was like, "Everything that they can digitize is finna happen." I was like, "Your choice is you can either dance with the devil or get ran over by him." I was like, "So I'm finna set up everything I can to be in the way so I can make as much money and whatever else I can. Because if you can't beat them, you might as well join them."
Yeah. That's the whole purpose. They tell people to get your affairs in order. Like all this, the status needs to be corrected down to the UCC1 taking control of the straw man, the ends legis, whatever you want to call it. I mean, all of these are going to be pretty much things that'll put you in the right direction when it comes to doing commerce, because the whole purpose of the secure party process is to be able to still move around in commerce. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
I think the best way to do that would be to one, definitely take control of your quote unquote estate, and then two, have your nationality corrected. That's very important. And when you out here dancing, like you said, you got on the right shoes.
Yeah. I just got the house up out from underneath and moved into trust. That's actually what Kelly was doing.
Mm,
He was like, "Did you do
fire.
that yet?" And I was like, "No." I was like, "I've just been too busy." She was like, "I was like, how about this?" It's like, "How about I just pay you and you do it?" I was like, "I'm not even usually that guy, but I was like, I know I need it done. I ain't had no time, you
Yeah.
know." And so she's like, "All right, I got you." So yeah, she came through and then filled out the paperwork and everything, signed up, whatever, ready to go. So I was like, "Bam, do it." Then I got the
Yeah.
notification from the county that they accepted it and it was recorded. So I was like, "All right, there we go."
Absolutely. Yes, sir. So yeah, man, that's a great step, man. Definitely want to start pulling things out, and if that's the way you're moving, put that bad boy underneath the trust. So man, I,
Yeah.
I actually got I don't think I was able to find this on Google, but there's something floating around on the internet that Jefferson County Emergency Management um volunteers needed for mass casualty exercise. The date is supposed to be Saturday, September 24th.
I've been
Don't know.
seeing some just videos, including the one Homestead shit hits the fan guy, where they're
Hmm.
talking about some of these places are setting up these mock sites real quick.
Hmm.
So yeah, they got something going on. They're always 2, 3, 4 steps ahead of us. You know what I mean? Like they're like, this is what we're gonna do. So by the time we start to see anything, they already got that plan and some other shit behind it.
Right.
So yeah,
Right.
they gonna do some mock testing, mock sites, uh, preparedness type things. One of my other clients told me was today or yesterday. I don't know. They're all starting to blend in together. But he told me that I put him onto your channel. He said because I had mentioned you, and then he said that he also lives in Maryland. So he's like he said it was real smooth that I put him on with you because he can watch how you're moving so he can see how he can move.
Mm-hmm.
And he said his wife is actually a federal agent and she's
Mm-hmm.
never really known about this stuff, you know, so he's kind of breaking her in to it. And she's like, I don't know. But he was like, look, he's like, this boy right here is doing it. He's like, this cat's doing it. And so he's all in. He's just ready. He's just trying to learn. So he's like, I'm gonna just watch A6 and see how he moves. So, you know, and I see you about to go over that 2K. So I see you.
Yeah, pushing, man, pushing. It's getting there. I had a boost, but you know, just the hustling, doing the shorts is helping a lot. Got to get back on the short game though. Like you said, I've been moving around a lot in the last 3 weeks, just constantly. So you know, it's an interesting type thing. And what we got in the comment section, man? What up, Tony? What's good with you, man? Good to see you here. Nicole, what's up? A pleasure as usual. What up, Bill? I was told that American State National is not a secure party creditor. We are priority creditors. Well, that's the whole entire purpose of the secure party process. I mean, it's literally, and the thing about this movement, like everybody is saying that they have the answer. And at the end of the day, there's a lot of answers. You know what I mean? Like it's just like mathematics. If there's a specific equation that needs to be solved, there are multiple ways to come with the same answer. You know what I mean? I wouldn't say one answer is more effective than another one. You can even double up your answers. You know what I mean? If you want to put multiple protections in order, you can do so. I will say this from what I learned with this whole entire thing, man. Notice is the most important and strongest tool you can use. Like giving notice. You know what I mean? Just not going out there and, you know, moving around a certain way. Giving notice is very important. I would say the whole purpose of the passport is to give notice. That's what it basically is. The DS-11 is basically a notice. And if you look right on the back of the passport card, it basically says it's for land, air, and sea travel, international. Well, no, it says land, air, international, and then sea travel. What is it? What is that? I gotta get my damn card. I ain't got it on me. But it's like, yeah, land and air internationally, pretty much. But if you're going like out of the country, then you pretty much would need to have a passport book. So yeah, I highly suggest, you know, using more than one particular answer. You know what I mean? Yes, indeed. I just got hold on a sec. Yeah, I'm waiting for this dude. Where the hell is finest thing walking? He more late than I am today.
Traveling on that BPT.
Yeah, I try not to be. I'm usually early, but you know, very rare occasion I am late. I did my UCC with April or June. Okay, well that's what's up, man. But yeah, I don't think there's one particular answer though, man. I think it's multiple answers. You know what I'm saying? Like there's multiple court cases that says you have the right to travel. Yep. So go ahead.
I just text that fool, see where he's at.
Yeah, I did too. I did twice. I hit him on the Telegram too. So, yo, have you seen the movie Nope yet? It's supposed to be about Skinwalker Ranch. Yeah, I'm probably gonna end up watching that. I keep hearing like people talk about Native American folklore or something where like there's entities that look like they're human and they sound human, but they're not. Like they'll be trying to lure you in or something like that by making noises, which is very, very
I've studied. I mean, I'm part Apache and Cherokee and French Creole, and so I've studied a lot of the native stuff and read a lot of their books. And for a long time, man, they've been talking about how some of them will make the sounds of a woman crying for help in the woods or a baby crying, and they'll go out there and they'll just see some animal that's just staring them down like on some human stuff. Most of the time, animals will look at you and just move off. Right. But these certain ones, and there ain't no other animals around them, like none of their own kind. The animals be knowing, like, yeah, you ain't one of us, bro. Right. You know, and they've been talking about that. They've talked about Bigfoot. They've talked about aliens. They've talked about the ant people, the ones that live in the ground.
The ant people. I haven't heard that one before. That's a new one.
Yeah. They could very well be talking about the gray aliens, because if you look at the gray aliens, their eyes look like ants. But I've heard from some sources that those eyes, those covers aren't their real eyes. They actually have more human eyes, but they're more exaggerated. But those are night vision lenses that they have, so that they can see it, so that they can see in pitch black. And if you read the Roswell, The Day After Roswell by Philip Corso, he talks about how they took that technology and gave it to the various companies and developed night vision for us with those things from a crashed ship. So, but
Yeah.
they've been talking about that, or they could be just talking about the beings that live in the ground, because there's countless stories about beings living in the ground, living in Mount Shasta. I mean, if you name it, there's a story behind it. It's literally.
Absolutely. Yeah, there's one particular story I had heard about. I don't remember which mountain it was, but it was supposed to be like a snow-covered mountain, and there was like rumors of some kind of creature inhabiting the mountain. So you had people that I think they had gotten lost for some reason. So they were trekking, and then come to find out, like about a week later, they went missing. They went to go find their bodies, and it looked like their bodies were hit by a tremendous force. Like one of the
Oh,
guys, you know what I'm talking about?
yeah.
One of the guys, they said every bone in his body was cracked and smashed. Like, what the hell? You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
I read into that one for years. That was over in Russia,
Was
and
it okay?
they went looking for, it was an expedition just to kind of do scouting, but unofficially they were looking for the Yeti. They're looking for the snow Yeti, and I was looking at some of their reports over the years, and they actually released some footage, and they actually have a picture of the Yeti in the forest. You can only see part of him. So look, he's white. That's why they call him Snow Yeti. And the Yetis, they're from what the ancient Tibetan people say, they're either really cool and they're very smart, or they are really angry. And
Mm.
so apparently, in this lady's journal, she wrote that she goes, and I quote, it is no longer to be considered a myth about the snowman or the snow creature. You know, I can now say that he is real.
Wow,
And they
that's
started
crazy.
saying that they heard noises from it, and they were camped just outside of the woods. And what ended up happening is, now this is all theoretical, but by the evidence, there was holes in their tent, which would lead you to believe that they were cutting holes out, because usually those Bigfoots are more docile than the Yetis.
Hmm.
And in Australia, they're known as the Yowie, and you pretty much run from people, but not the Yetis. The Yetis like, yeah, no, I'm not playing that. You know, I ain't no punk over here. So the cuts from inside the tent would indicate that they were looking out for something that was fearful,
Mm.
that was out there. And so the fact that they ran out of their tents in the middle of the night within their underwear and were found in trees tells you that they were running from something.
Yeah, something
So
got
it's
in.
probably at
Yeah.
least one of them, which you're not going to outrun them. You are not going to be. They're stronger than gorillas. All right, so
Damn.
you're just done. All right,
Holy
your
shit.
best chance is to say 6. You run east. I'm running west, and hope, because the one they found them, the guy had all of his bones cracked. Okay,
Sheesh.
some of them had their tongues ripped out, their eyes removed. A
Damn.
lot of them animals will go for the soft meat.
Mhm.
Okay, you know, so they'll take that kind of stuff. In general, they're not known for eating people, you
Mhm.
know, but they will muff you up. They make they make it known not to come in their area. So unless you got that thing, and even then,
I don't even think that's enough for real.
people
You
have
probably need a
shot
bear.
them like bears, and they will keep coming. So aim for the face. Aim for the
People
face.
shot them like bears, you said?
Yeah.
That's crazy. So
There's been stories of hunters who have shot what they thought was a bear, but it was a Bigfoot, and
holy
they didn't go down.
damn.
You
That's
know?
wild, yo.
Yeah.
Yo, that's crazy. We got somewhere around here. It's not like haunted or anything like that, but I guarantee you it's got to be some spiritual turmoil. If you guys are from Baltimore, the Maryland area, you probably have heard of Lincoln Park. And Lincoln Park is a place where a lot of bodies are basically buried because there's a lot of murders here in Baltimore. And what they were doing from I think it was the 60s up to like the I want to say the early 2000s. They would dump the bodies in this like it's not a forest, but it's like a giant, really thick woods. The place is actually it's messed up because the place is actually really beautiful. It's got water flowing and everything, really green plants and stuff. The pictures look very healthy, but people use all that shrubbery and stuff to hide bodies. I'm like, yo, it's got to be like a spiritual type of thing, a disturbance because the bodies were so horribly disposed upon. And I'm just wondering if stuff like that manifests itself to breed, that kind of negativity. There's also a place called in Japan called I think Suicide Forest or something like that.
Yeah.
They actually said if you go into this forest, you will be like tormented with thoughts of suicide. People usually go in the forest just to off themselves. So there's if you do dare to trek into the forest, you will find, recently self mutilated bodies. People would commit Harry Carry in the woods, and Harry Carry in Japan is pretty much, it's self termination. You take a blade and take yourself out. There's people that have hung themselves too, taking pills, overdose. It's a mess, man. But I just wonder if, when areas are like this, is it a situation if there's not creatures that are inhabiting it, or if there's like, negative spirits or something like that that cause these type of things to happen?
So I see in the comments some people are talking about the red-headed giants that got the military over in Iraq. Yep, that was confirmed by at least 3 or 4 different people that happened. It was actually one giant, but there are still numerous giants that the GOV is working with. But in that particular story, they went into a cave because they got the unit didn't know what they were looking for. They said they were just going in here looking for Taliban and various things like that. But the uppers knew something was going on in there. And so they sent them in there. So the men weren't prepared. So out comes this huge red-headed giant with this huge spear.
Giant? Is it like does it look like a human?
Yeah, just a big one of us, whitish skin, like a little bit lighter than you, and then but red hair.
Damn.
Now these are also supposed to be the ones that were related to the ancient Vikings and even some of the Atlanteans, even though the Atlantean people were a mixed.
Yeah.
This color. They're kind of like Americans are not all one color. But yeah, so long story short, the commander eventually said, shoot the face. And that's what brought the giant down. And then it mysteriously a get to the chopper now showed up. And they had a big net ready. So somebody knew something that the men didn't know. So compartmentalization, my friends.
Right, exactly. Yeah. Going down there and do this task, but know just enough to get the job done, but not enough to know why you're doing it. Just like anything else,
And then see somebody was talking about Phil Schneider. Yep, I know all about that story. I've read and watched everything I could on him. That guy had some cojones, man.
Phil Schneider.
Yeah, the short version of it is he him and his family were related to other military family.
They got you skipping out, man. They got your signal dropping. Yeah, you start talking about stuff like that. They don't like that. Your signal is all messed up, man.
Let's give it a second.
As soon as you stop talking, it started working again. How about that?
Maybe I should do sign language. Are we okay now?
Yeah, sounds good now.
All right. So that particular individual, he's known for doing underground geology. In other words, locating where there's places you can make tunnels.
Yeah.
And so long story short, if you want the full story, look him up on YouTube. But let's just say they ran into a place that was considered to be priority. And they went tunneling, and these $1 million diamond bits were breaking off, which nothing should be able to destroy diamond-tipped drill bits. And They finally broke through, and they were surprised to find, we'll just say, some beings living in a cavern there. And he was the only one who made it out with some interesting laser-type wounds on his body.
Yeah, I think one of the guys lost his arm, right?
Well, almost all of them were killed except for him. He got his fingers blown off and then a gash blown into his chest.
Sheesh. Yeah, that's that Star Wars stuff right there. That's where all that stuff comes from, though, man.
Yeah,
ideas come from that.
All we're doing is we're remembering what was in the past. All that stuff was already here. All that ancient technology was here. Yeah,
1000%, man. I think that, like I said, I've been saying it, and I'm gonna keep saying it. I swear that stuff's either in Area 51, another hidden hangar, or that stuff is in the bottom of that Vatican, man.
Oh, both. And those aren't even the only places. By the time we find out about a place like that, especially here, they've already got 2 or 3 other ones built that they've got more stuff. You know, they don't play that.
Yeah.
Like I'll my people, but I was watching a story and an airplane how he was flying over an area, and apparently some signal must have got triggered, but he said the whole ground, the earth opened up like a hangar door and revealed an underground chamber.
What?
And other people have talked about how they've walked up to mountains where there was plants and rocks and everything real, and the whole thing or part of the whole thing opened up.
Like the Wakanda thing, when you fly past a certain point, you can get through the barrier to a whole hidden city.
Yeah, they've got technology that's thousands of years. Because I went to school for technology, so I love everything I can find on technology. You know, like I can tell people exactly how their computers work, their phones work, and whatever else, what the frequencies do, what they're made out of. But the stuff that some of my teachers were telling me when they were in military and what they've seen, no, it's not all of our stuff. Like I said, in the book, The Day After Roswell, the guy is a decorated military guy, and before he passed away, he wrote a book on everything he found out when he was put onto the technology that they got after the Roswell crash. He didn't see the crash, but he dealt with everything else after that. He was charged with putting it out there so that it could better mankind. So he gave it to, like, in 47, he gave it to like AT&T, Motorola, DuPont. He gave them all these things. We were already working on these technologies. We already had a type of memory metal, you know, but it wasn't nearly as good as what they found, you know. So yeah, I've studied and read everything you can possibly think of on Roswell, and so all I can say is that there's more to the story. There's more to the story.
Always, man. I don't think they can always put everything out there, but I'll be honest with you, man. Like, just looking at people's reactions on these declassified documents that came out a while ago by the FBI. It was the FBI, right? These documents it might have been the CIA. These documents that were declassified came out, and there were over like what was it, 3,000 pages of declassified documents, and nobody cared. Like, literally, they put it out like 2017 or 18. I'm like, yo, you do realize they're literally telling you that out of body experiences and astral projection exist, right? Like it's a real thing. People like, you mean like Dr. Strange? Yes.
I think we talked about this on one of your other shows, but there's a guy by the name of Eric Greenwald who owns Black Vault. I think it's called theblackvault.com. And when he was like 17, he FOIA'd the GOV for their alien files.
Yep.
And put them all out there. And he discovered that because of the differences in the black ink, you could read through the redacted areas. You got pages, full pages that were all black, but 3 words talking about some kind of alien encounter, and then it stops.
Shit.
That's your proof. They don't hide stuff that they ain't worried about. You know what I mean? So yeah, they've been telling us they've been here. The aliens are real for years, you know. It's nothing new. There's some that look exactly like us. You can walk. What's the one guy? I think his code name was Phoenix or something like that, and he was in the Pent, you know. And there's a guy by the name of Strange or something like that. I can't remember his name, but anyway, he wrote a straight at the Pentagon, and he talks about his experience, how he went in there and he met this, you know, alien guy, and there's pictures of the guy. And there's some of them that look exactly like us. There's some that look exactly like us, but they're super tall. I mean, there's, you know, and lots of guys in the military have come forward and talked about their experiences. Like I said, this is all the kind of stuff I do is, you know, learn and read. So it's nothing new. I mean, they've been conditioning us for years to be okay with it. I mean, that's why it's all in Hollywood and in entertainment and movies. They want us to get used to it, you know, which we're getting there, you know. So
I don't think it's going to be long, man. I really don't.
According to what I heard, 2030, before 2032, we're supposed to have confirmation, even though they've already been letting it out. I mean, look at the, what was it, the Nimitz over in the coast of California, the Tic Tac that they seen that the military said was not ours and was outmaneuvering our planes.
Yeah.
They've been here. They've never left.
And that was popular too. People were like, "Oh, what is it then?" And they just went back to watching whatever they
Well, and so that's what they want. They want people so desensitized to it. It's like, oh yeah, we know some kind of UFO thing, probably a drone, because more of them are coming here.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and so they know that we're going to start looking up and seeing, and then we're going to be like, oh yeah. I mean, I've seen at least two flying over.
Dude, I've seen a whole bunch of stuff like that in the sky, man.
Yeah, I mean, here in my state, we had it on news. There was one just sitting over our airport, just chilling.
Oh yeah,
it was a red light. It was probably about 15 years ago, but yeah, we had it on the news. Everybody caught it, but you know, and it's over the airport. You can't be there. You know, like this is where you can get shot down, bro. This is
that's a giveaway right there. They'd be on your ass if you fly over top of the airport without clearance.
You know, so yeah, they've been telling us that stuff is here. That's nothing new. If people at this point in time don't believe in the national stuff or the UFO stuff, you're just not trying to hear it.
Yeah,
which is okay. Which, you know, not everybody,
perfect, man.
You know,
it's perfect. It's perfect. I mean, you can't force somebody to drink the water. You know what I mean?
No.
Taylor says, you mean Bigfoot and Yeti or kin?
Yeah. Oh, Albert, hi, what's up, my boy Albert? Yeah, the Bigfoot, the Yeti, and the Yowie are all related. Their ancient name in the fossil record is Gigantus epiphycus. Okay, it was a super huge, bad monkey type creature, but very human looking. Sloped head, it had a large cranial crown on it, human face, basically same traditional features. And what will trip you out is there's an ancient story in Europe where they caught a female Bigfoot. And they had it for a while in a cage, and then they sold it to a circus. And this is where it gets weird. All right, I'm gonna try to leave out some of the details, but you'll see where I'm going with this. And they had domesticated the creature, and then when the circus closed down in this village, she basically lived in the village. And let's just say they put her to work.
What?
Like living? Hold on. They put her to work moving things in this particular factory, but yes, they put her to work. She did birth some children who were very aggressive, very strong, but looked very human. Like, and
is this the particular case where you see the babies born with all the fur and they call it some kind of rare condition? Is that what that is about?
Well, they call that werewolfism.
Yeah.
But her kids actually did not have werewolfism. They had more hair than normal, full hair, but not werewolfism. That's where it covers the entire face, which would make sense.
Yeah.
But yeah, her kids, the oldest one died, and later on, like probably early 2000s, they actually dug his body up and DNA tested him, and they found that his DNA had some kind of weird additional DNA in it. Like it wasn't all human, but it wasn't far from being human. So, but yeah, weird stories, man. When you start reading these ancient books and tales, and then like I said, that wasn't even that ancient. This was back only like I think it was like 100 and some years ago. So it wasn't even that long.
That is interesting, man.
But yeah, all those are related. Yeah, the Bigfoot, the Yeti, the Yowie. Yep, they're all related.
All right, let me show you what I was talking about. I got another question for Wolf, which I'll put these together a little bit afterwards. But yeah, this is what I was talking about right here. If you guys can see it, and that I think that's it right there, right? That's how they look. So yeah, there's a case where I think the guy was from Brazil, and him and all his babies are covered in fur, but the wife wasn't like that. So like his whole face, his eyelids, just like the man right there, everything was covered in fur. So it just makes me wonder, like, I don't believe stuff like that is a coincidence. Like it's a 1 in such 1,000 chance it could happen for no reason at all. And just like, what about the one where the babies are born with green scaly skin and red eyes? What is that called? I forgot what it was called.
That one I don't remember, but see, our DNA has, even recently, I just read this yesterday, even though I follow all this weird stuff. It's how I get down. So the U.S. national part is one sliver of what all I know and how I get down. But our DNA actually has a lot of Neanderthal DNA and then what they call junk DNA. Now they're telling us it's junk DNA because they can't decipher it. Okay. Which, like anything else, when they don't know what it is, they give it a humdrum name and fluff it off. And then later on, they come to find out, oh no, that's where the fire is right there. We didn't know what it is. We know what it is now.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
But yeah, we've got I don't want to say necessarily Neanderthal. Well, Neanderthal we know for sure. Like Bigfoot, which is Gigantopithecus. I mean, we're genetically related. I mean, almost everything on the planet, if you can eat it, we have some kind of relation. You know, we have common genetic structures with lettuce and dolphins and, you know, ferns. You know, ferns actually have a more complicated genetic structure than we do, if you believe it or not. That's what's messed up, you know, and a more ancient one. So we were probably genetically altered at some point in time, which is why they can't find a true missing link.
That's interesting.
And if you read the book, Memories was it Memoirs of Enki, the alien god, they talk about a lot of that in there. It's a very fascinating read. What's going on, Tony? What's going on, Kelly? I see you guys out there. Hip hop boss, secured party, living man.
I didn't even get that far down here.
Oh, my bad.
Oh, good. Now,
all right, my bad.
Bill says, file your UCC in New York. It is the business capital of the world. That is true. Also, file a trade name and security agreement with Form 56 to the IRS. There's a lot more to it. Okay, that's good information right there. File it with the state of New York. Yeah, it's the business capital of the world. He's absolutely right.
That just sparked something. I know he said he followed. Did he say he followed with the IRS? The Form 56?
456 with the IRS, yeah.
You know, just as a thought, educational information only, is me speaking out loud before I contemplated. You know, hypothetically, if you were to do a Form 56 with the IRS, you're appointing them as fiduciary to pay your bills.
Yeah, that's actually facts.
So
isn't that part of that? Is that part of that W4 sandwich? I think people were talking about.
I haven't looked into that yet. I'm always slow to do anything financial. That's where these people try to hem you up.
Yeah. I've heard about people getting jammed up for the 1099As.
Yeah. So be careful on that. Yeah. Yeah. You know, like I said, one of my favorite lines out there is chess. And in chess, the pawns always go first. So be careful when filing anything financial where you can get something out of them. You can make your claims, but if it comes to you getting money from them, be careful because they will jam you up. And it might seem like it went through. All right. For those people who don't know, I tell the truth. So I'll put my own business out there. 20, 30 years ago, when I got started doing this stuff, I ran with a lot of crews. And one of the crews was doing some jabroni type stuff. And, you know, your boy almost got into trouble. That's why I learned to slow my hot self down because, you know, people around me were getting hemmed up on doing some processes, messing around with, you know, what do you call it? Routing numbers, making things like you can make your own negotiable instruments, but you can't put their stuff on your stuff. Not in that way.
Nope.
And trying to
access mix public with private. That's how you get hemmed up.
Yeah. So just be careful with that kind of stuff.
Yes, indeed. King Tony says 12 gauge to the kneecaps will bring any beast down. So you better have dragon breath shots for them joints.
Man, hey, you know what? I'm going for the face because I know what I'm looking at. The knees are going to be moving quick if they're coming after me because I know I'm moving. I ain't got time to, hey, slow down, Bigfoot. Let me just shoot you in that left knee. I get what you're saying, but I don't know, man.
That's why I said you need a dragon breath.
I might try to shoot him in his dinger or something. But now, if that don't stop him.
Yeah, and then if he come to get you, now he pissed. Now you done pissed him off.
Hey, but at least he ain't gonna be doing no backwood stuff to me. You know what I mean? I might be cute to a male Bigfoot. I don't know.
Yo said that. Crazy. Yo. Mark Poto says Japan forest amplifies your energy. There are crystals under that area. So what kind of crystals you think are under there, man? Specifically. I'm interested to know about that because that is interesting. They actually have a sign on the outside written in Japan, basically telling people, you know, do not go in these woods. You have a lot to live for. Your relatives care about you. That kind of positive, uplifting message because they don't want people going in there.
Yeah. Hey, Six, let me know if you can hear the fan. I just turned it on. It's a little warm, so make sure it doesn't sound loud or nothing.
No, can't hear it.
All right.
Didn't Logan Paul go into that suicide forest? Really? No way.
I don't know.
This. I'm gonna have to
I
check
know
this
places
out.
like Arkansas has a heavy amount of quartz and diamonds there, and they have it's supposed to be on some kind of tectonic plate, and there's a lot of energy that goes on down there. So crystals, they're transmitters and receivers.
Yeah, I see a video he did. This dude's a goofball. But yeah, the dude's a weirdo. But yeah, Logan Paul's an idiot. Newsflash. Giant of Kandahar.
Yeah.
I think they got like a whole. They don't wear. I guess they don't wear clothes. Then, right?
The Giants.
Yeah.
Yeah, they usually did, but it was sparse. You know, it's kind of hard to make clothes out of animals that big because unless you got some elephants, some giraffe, most of them are small.
True.
Although back in the day, apparently they just found a new creature. Well, not to say new creature, but they found a one-horned. They're calling it it's like a rhinoceros, but it's a unicorn and it's super huge. It's not a horse, but they think some of the tails of the one-horned creature that might have been from the prehistoric days is that creature they just found. It's alleged that some of these red-headed giants may be underground. I mean, I wouldn't necessarily say that they're all red-headed, but are they? From everything I've been reading, yeah, like that new airport they built over, with the Masonic symbols over in Denver.
Oh, Denver.
There's a guy left a post saying that he went in an elevator there and it went down, and he said it went down farther than he thought it should have. And when the doors opened up, he said everything inside of this cavern, was super huge, but he didn't trip. He's like, oh, this must be like a maintenance area. He tried to get back in and the door wouldn't close. So he just was like, all right. Now, I don't know. I can't say this is true. This is just his experience. But he said he had to go to the bathroom. So he went down the hall and seen the men's bathroom sign. So he went in there and he said all the urinals were over his head.
Damn.
So he was like, something's wrong here. Yeah, and he made a beeline out of there and then, went back up into the elevator and wrote his story. He said, y'all can believe me or not. He's like, but what is interesting about that place is it's not even the creep or not the murals, excuse me, or the Masonic stuff, or that they really didn't need it to be built there.
Yeah.
But it's the fact that they went almost triple over budget
just to build this place.
To build the place, and the underneath luggage area is to this day not even being used. It was supposed to be the primary system, but they're using the secondary system upstairs. So how do you go almost triple over budget? Now, for those people who don't know, because I do read into this kind of stuff, the GOV is known for putting certain DUMBs underneath stadiums and locations like that because you have the power hookup already ran there.
Yep.
It's brilliant. It's what I would do. I mean, it's smart. It's why I like
it's just like on Batman. Remember Batman where Bane took over Gotham City and that giant, he put TNT all underneath the stadium and a giant hole, which was an underground cavern, basically dropped through the stadium. Yeah.
Yeah, it's brilliant. It's hidden in plain sight. And think about it. That airport's going to be there until the end of time. So no one's going to have permission to go onto FAA property, federal property to dig or whatever else. So you've got limited access to it.
Exactly.
No one's going to overlook the power requirements. You know what I mean? And large planes coming in there I'm not going to say the term, but on special terminals, we'll just say, no one's going to question it. And it's operated. You build a base, people can look and see a base. It's hard to hide it. You can't hide it from the satellites. But everything else with the airport, if somebody's looking down over it, all they're going to see is a lot of concrete that's reinforced, and you're not going to be able to see through it.
100%. Yeah.
Yeah, it's brilliant. It's brilliant.
It is. It's very intelligently built. I mean, let's be honest though. All these fixtures that have mysterious origins are all built like magnificently. I don't think there's any that are built like, yo, why did you even bother? They're all like, how did you build this? Or this is beautiful, that type of thing.
Well, and
Shit,
what
you know
about?
the
Oh, I was gonna say, what about
not
the guide stones?
yeah, go ahead.
Nobody knows who put them up. Nobody got no footage of how they got blown apart. But then the next day, they were there tearing them down.
Right. Had to bring them down real quick. Hey man,
Come
um,
on, man.
did you know the
And
naval
nobody
base
knows
over in
whose land it's built on. How do you not know whose land it's built on? They don't know.
exactly? Got another comment. You shoot anything in the face, they're going down unless they're on meth. Yeah, that meth is a hell of a drug. Bill is State National. I live in NY. Did that process years ago. Facts. Living man was good. Was good. That's the story. Jersey Area 51, I think, is a cover up now. It's said that they used a huge tunnel machine to connect somewhere underground. So
Yep.
people really didn't know. Let me tell you something, bro. Like, if anybody thinks at all what you see is what you get with Area 51, you are a fool. There's got to be at least 50 levels. The further down you go, like the closer you get to a tunnel. I've even heard that there's tunnels that connect from Europe to America that can take you from Europe to America in under 20 minutes.
Yeah. A
All
lot of
underneath
times
the sea, all of this shit. And there's no way we had the technology to build this stuff.
they used to have generic boring machines, and now they've got nuclear powered laser drills. Okay. And when you use that, what happens is it actually vitrifies the stone and the material underneath and forms the perfect seal. And so you can, as long as you go hit the right spots, you don't hit like an empty drop off cavern, which, you're good. You can take that almost anywhere you want. So yeah, that's why a lot of people hear these sonic booms, or their houses and whatever else will crack, because you're displacing, all that material has to still go somewhere. The heat has to go somewhere. All right. And then if they hit a pocket of something, that gas or whatever else has to go somewhere. So that's why they hire an expert like the guy who passed away, who, they were talking about earlier, to make sure that they don't hit nothing. Right. They don't just tunnel in some generic direction. Like, oh, we want to go that way, head that way. No, they're trying to avoid things that are down there and other things that are down there.
Exactly.
So, but yeah, they've got tunnels. Yeah, they can. That's where you hear those sonic booms. These towns, even up in upper Wisconsin and Canada, people have been like, yeah, we're hearing these weird sonic booms. That's because the maglev trains are zoop, wang.
Damn.
Cracking that. What is it? How fast you got to go?
Is it Mach 2, right?
Something like that. 770 miles an hour, something like that.
It's either Mach 2 or Mach 3. So you break the sound barrier. I've heard the extraterrestrials can actually do it without breaking the sound barrier.
Well, yeah, because their ships all have time-space vortexes around them. They're creating their own space-time. So there's no inertia. So when they move, they're manipulating space-time, and they're literally pulling the fabric of space-time towards them. So they're not going to hear anything because they're not affecting, the wind's not going to affect them. They're literally creating their own bubble. Like the Earth has its own shield that protects us from the sun, the radiation, and all that for the most part. That's what they have, and it reduces inertia by 90%. So however much anything weighs, it's going to be reduced by 90%, and then you're literally pulling on the fabric of space-time that we're in right now. So yeah, they're literally doing Star Trek stuff with it. But they've had that since, well, aliens have had that for thousands of years. We've had it for at least 10,000 years in certain the Mahabharata in India talks about using quicksilver, which is just mercury, liquid mercury, to power them, because it's a liquid and it's a metal. So if you spin it around in a vortex fast enough by a torsional field, you can make it move, and then it creates its own reduces gravitational force by creating its own space-time force field. And then all you need is gravity amplifiers. You just move them whichever way, and then pull yourself that way.
Speaking of, I'm glad you brought the whole mercury thing up, dude. But I was looking at something today. I don't know how true this is. I'm not 100% sold on this, but they were talking about red mercury. Now, I know you've heard of this before.
Yeah,
red mercury supposedly is the only thing or substance that resembles a liquid steel, a reddish liquid steel, of course. It's attracted by gold. If you put gold near it, it attracts it, but it's repelled by garlic. And the weirdest thing I've heard, and I actually seen some videos on YouTube, is that red mercury does not have a reflection in the mirror. Now that was wild for me. I'm like, hold on, man. So I look on YouTube and I see at least six different videos where people have red mercury and they have them in front of mirrors and there's no reflection. This one guy has a little vial and he pours it in a bowl, and literally when you look in the mirror, there's nothing coming out of it. And then he takes a clove of garlic, he puts it near it and it pushes it away. And then he takes a gold ring and it draws towards the gold ring. And the first thing that kind of reminded me of is the vampires, man. Like vampires, you know how in Hollywood always projects them to not have an appearance in the mirror. They don't have a reflection. And then, they're allergic to garlic, so to speak. I'm not sure about the gold correlation, but I thought that was interesting. But I'm not 100% sold on it yet. Have you ever heard about that before?
I've heard of it and I've heard those claims. I haven't done a whole lot of research. I kind of just put it in the back of my brain, forgot about it. But yeah, I believe, and don't quote me, but I believe when, Hitler was doing his things with the, as they're called, fast movers, and using, they're trying to redo their tech. He was caught with similar like chemicals, including heavy water. So yeah, there's something to that. They have found some odd things, chemicals, minerals. They just found a new element that
Moscovium.
is. What's that?
Moscovium.
I don't think that's what it's called. It's a blue. It looks like a dark blue diamond, and it's harder than diamond. And they don't know where it comes from. They've just been finding pieces of it like at random, and they're like, nothing they've been able to do has been able to really destroy it or whatever. Like, and it's harder than diamonds. So they don't even know. So they've been finding all kind of weird stuff,
That's crazy. That's probably all that stuff that comes from inside the earth, the hollow earth or whatever.
And just remember, if it makes it to us, what are they hiding?
Oh man, let's not even start that. You already know, man. Absolutely. Hold on, I skipped one. Bad Wolf, does your passport affidavit letter apply if I'm an indigenous aboriginal? Shit, we all indigenous aboriginals.
Yeah, I mean, you would just make one based on your claim that you were born here. That's all you have to do. So would it work? Yeah, you could take it and edit it and just change out, state citizen for indigenous aboriginal, or make your claim. It's all about your claim. You just have to make your claim to the land at the end of the day, and if you could stand on it, then and they can't rebut it, and nothing they can do.
Facts. Astral projection, remote viewing, etc. all exist. I've done astral projection before and I've done remote viewing. They're both 1000% fact. I will say this though, in order to do, I haven't done an astral projection since I was like 12 or 13, but I actually read about it online. I was like, yo, you know what? Let me just go ahead and try this, and that should work. But the remote viewing though, I actually did manage to do. But what I noticed, it was easier for me to do it when I cut meat completely out of my diet. As you remember, last year I wasn't eating any meat all summer. I was all homegrown vegetables. Everything that I ate was basically grown, and it wasn't any kind of chemicals in it whatsoever, except for the ones they spray the sky with. That's a whole nother conversation. And then, so and then the spring water and exercising, and it allowed me, I guess, to function on a different frequency. So with that said, yeah, I was able to do the remote viewing. It worked pretty well.
I can definitely say that now that I think I just reached 1,000 people on my other channel. That channel is where I'm going to talk more about like all of this stuff. So which is why I don't mind talking on yours. The other platform, the James You Love It, it's more just for the straightforward national stuff. The other one, I'm going to specialize in all my experiences. Like ever since I've been taking like monoatomic gold. Let me tell you, you're going to have some experiences. You got to purify your body. Stop eating so much trash and garbage with, like Six was saying, the chemicals and the water that calcifies your
third eye
what is it?
pineal gland.
Pineal gland. I was gonna call it the pine cone gland. That's a whole nother thing too. But yeah, I've astral projected. I've dream walked, and even recently, I'm not gonna mention the person's name because they may not want to feel comfortable sharing their information. But we literally seen each other and talked to each other in dreams, and then when we met in real life, it was a real thing.
Fire,
bro. Let me tell you that, man. I'm looking at dreams all different now. Wow. All I'm gonna say, and I think I told people about having. I experienced the energy that goes down your spine.
You skipping out.
Telling too much good stuff.
Yeah, you start talking about the Kundalini and all that stuff. That's too much.
You're like,
yeah. Yeah, they skipped you out on that one.
Yeah, when you can meditate to a point where you can touch your higher self, and you basically become almost one with the fabric of the universe. Whether you want to say it's your everybody reaching into the Akashic record. And it was weird because I hit a level of the Kundalini where I felt this energy, this hot energy run through my body. Like it was almost uncomfortable. I was like, oh man, what is this? And all of a sudden, like I could think of any math equation and I knew it. I could see the answer and it made sense. Space and time all became like a highway where you could look forwards and backwards. Everything was colors, vivid colors. And it was kind of freaky, but cool at the same time. It was like I wasn't scared, but it was like, this ain't normal, and it wasn't like I was sleeping either. You know what I mean? I was like in a meditative state, and I kind of came back to this, and I was like, oh, but it only happened one time, but like, man, it was like everything, all kind of knowledge was at your fingertips. It was very I don't even know, divine, biblical. It was it was interesting. We'll just say it, to say the least.
Fire, man. That's a good experience. I need to get on the monatomic gold, man. I had some colloidal gold and silver. I got to get back on the move though.
The more gold and silver you take, like even now, if I go out and I do drink, like usually like maybe once a week, I'll get like Goldschlager where they actually have the gold flakes already in there. Like if I'm a drink, I might as well have something that's going to be kind of beneficial. Right. And it's funny, so a lot of these younger cats are like Goldschlager because it's an old guy drink, right? And they're like, never heard of it. What is that in there? I'm like, it's gold. They're like, that ain't gold in there. I'm like, yeah. So I'd be
definitely gold in there.
But yeah. So the more gold and silver you put in your body, like you're gonna have some experiences. So get your colloidal gold, and we all know colloidal silver fights bacteria or viruses and things of that nature. You know what I mean? Like that's why we got the term silverware, is because all the plates and silver and the utensils were made out of silver.
It used to be made of silver, yeah.
Yeah.
So if you look at a silver set now, they're like $800. You know what I mean? But yeah, when you use silver as a utensil, it is a different frequency that you're ingesting with the food. It's the same thing with your water, whatever you drink. What you put your food and water on does matter. It makes a difference. Like I tell people, I use the silver canteen when I drink. And what it basically does, silver is an excellent conductor of energy. I think they said silver was a better conductor of electricity than gold was, if I'm not mistaken, right? Or even?
They're pretty comparable, but it's more preferred because of the cost.
The cost, okay. Yeah, but yeah, silverware, man, that stuff's expensive.
Oh yeah. What I'll do is I'll take crystals that I'll put out in the sun, and I'll put them inside of my copper canteen, and I'll drink the water out of there after it's sat there for X amount of time.
That's a good technique too. How do you cleanse your crystals, man?
In the sun. I'll usually take them, and lay them out in the sun, in the grassy spot or something like that, and let the energy just from the sun, penetrate the crystals and purify them.
hold on. I'm trying to pull something up real quick. Here we go. Let me show you guys what I'm talking about. All right, yeah. So if you want to get yourself a vintage sterling silver silverware set, this is what you're going to be looking at. This is I think they purposely took the silver out because they knew exactly what it was for. It's deeper than just these people are using
Well,
silver to eat.
ask yourself why they got rid of the copper pipes and homes and now moved to PVC or Pyrex.
Exactly. So you're going to be spending about, and this is just like a basic, you know what I mean? This isn't even a super advanced kit right here. Got your old school spoons, your old school forks, your actual silver knives, and I don't know what those are because I've never actually seen them before. But $500, and that is a bid. So if you're gonna bid on it, you gotta bid at least a minimum of $500 in order to even be in the running to get something like that. Oh, here we go. There's another one right here. Oh, look at this one. Sheesh. Look at this bad boy right here. Look at this.
I was gonna say $500 is a deal for that set.
Hold on, I'm trying to pull up the other one now. Move this out of the way. Share the other one. Look at this other one right here. This is more of a complete set. This is an 84-piece set. Now this bad boy is $2,300.
Yeah, that sounds more about right.
Yeah, but look what you get. You get 84 pieces of silver, basically.
Yeah,
that's what, 2 kilos almost, so almost close to 2 kilos.
Silver,
that's more than 2 kilos. Yeah, that's more than 2.
Silver is a darn good investment. You ain't going bad with silver or gold.
Yeah, but yeah, this is what you're looking at. So I do one day want to work myself up to be able to get like a silver set or something. But I'm gonna tell you, I don't like the way forks and knives grow legs, man.
Oh yeah, you got
real pissed off at my silver.
You gotta put that up, son. That ain't for everybody when they come through.
Unfortunately, that's 1,000% right, man.
I didn't have some petty stuff that I didn't even think people would steal go missing in my house, bro. Somebody, man, let me tell you, somebody stole the dang toilet paper roll from my house once, bro.
The toilet paper roll from your head? Was this the one?
Like, no, not the roll, the bar that holds the toilet paper.
What? They stole your toilet paper rack? That's crazy. Your fam, was it the fam though? Yo, fam be stealing too, son. Let me tell you, yo, fam steal too. I seen it.
I believe they'll steal from me first. That's why most of them don't know where I live.
Bro, I got some stories I can tell you. I'm not gonna put my fam out online though, but dude, I got.
I will. I'll name names in my house. I don't even care. They don't. Most of them don't know where I live anyway. Six, for real. People like, how come you don't see no of your family? First of all, I don't have much family left, and two, some of them, especially the ones from Arkansas, they don't know where I live except for 1 or 2 cousins. That's it.
Right. Hell yeah.
Sticky fingers like they ain't got nothing on Spider-Man, bro.
Yo, my man Boss Secure Party says, have you heard about 3D printed meat? Yeah. We covered 3D printed meat last month, I believe. But yeah, man, they're actually literally they're 3D printing everything. They 3D print plastic items, metal items. But if you got a metal 3D printer, you can make some money. If you got a metal 3D printer, holla at me. We can get paid. I got some ideas. But what is it? The houses, they can do 3D printed houses now. I don't know if you guys heard about that yet, but I heard the process is really amazing. They can 3D print a whole entire house, and they're gonna 3D print meat as well.
Yeah, and they got meat glue where they can take bits of meat and this edible substance will take the bits and they can squish it together and form it into like looking like a steak or whatever else. Look up meat glue. Yeah.
Hell no. That's crazy. Meat glue.
Meat glue, bro.
That doesn't even sound appetizing, bro. Like, here's what I'm not gonna do. Eat that.
If you haven't had it already.
Shit. Don't even get me started, man. That's why I shop at the farmer's market, bro. All my shit is right from out back.
Man.
You see Mr. Cletus back there with a goddamn hammer. Hitting the
Strink.
Yeah, man. You man should really look up Pantera D Oro Private Society, Gemstone University. See what we are doing there. Okay. I'm into the crystals and stuff too, man. I just ordered. Damn, I actually had the book over there too. But I actually just ordered something for Key. You know, QI life force. Every living being has a life force. So I ordered something that's supposed to boost your key. So I'm interested to see how that works. You know what I'm saying? I rock usually the
Okay.
moldavite, and that's supposed to enhance your aura for your body, which I noticed when I started wearing it. People stare at me like differently than they did, but not stare, but they'll look at me longer than they did before. If I come like near somebody and they're not looking my way, they'll turn around subconsciously, because they can kind of sense your presence. These crystals definitely. I showed you guys what happened with the this crystal right here, the shungite right there, and how you take the your cell phone and you charge it, and then you put the shungite. Actually, you charge it and you just take like a meter, because I have the meter not too far from here. But you put it right here, and it gives you a certain amount of radiation that's coming off your phone. But you put the shungite in between the phone and the meter, and it absorbs all the radiation charge. Facts. Like we did that live like 2 months ago. But these crystals actually do have abilities, man.
Yeah, I mean, the crystal structure is nothing but I mean, everything's made out of energy, and so anything that can happen is going to be made out of energy. So these crystals have a certain uh, atomic lattice that have certain properties. That's the whole thing. So they will do certain, this, that's, and the other. And I haven't done this in a while, but when I was younger, I always used to have a quartz crystal on a necklace, and I would wear it day and night. And I was always like real, just like I felt balanced. I didn't feel anxiety or anxious or any of that stuff. Like, and then when I would start to feel it, I kind of felt like absorbed all of that anxiety, that negative energy from either me or outside. And then I would just take it and put it in the sun and let it sit for a day or 2 days, maybe even 3, and then let that energy soak back into the ground and let the sun purify it. And then I put it back on and I'd be straight. So, and like, and another thing I thought about too, like I really didn't have any, like any kind of sickness or ailments. I mean, I'm not saying that was exactly what it is. I can't prove that, but I was rarely ever, like with a cold or anything. So I don't know. I might have to get back to that,
Yeah, man, get out there and put your feet on the earth too, man. You already know the grounding works as well, wonders. I know it snows a lot out there, so don't let your feet get stuck to the
I'm
grass.
always barefoot, man. Matter of fact, I stepped on some glass the other day. That was because I live on the north side, so cats be like psh, busting bottles and everything. So I was like, oh man, see, but I'm like Mr. Country Boy. Let me tell you, I'm always shoeless walking around.
True. What up, Kelly? What up, Kelly? I skipped one. We see things all the time on PCH Malibu. All right. I did homework on this. Y'all talk about early 2021. Y'all still eating meat? Shake my head. 3 years no meat. Yeah. I rock with the meat, man. I rock with the meat, but I make sure I get mine farm raised. You know what I mean? Straight from the spot. I don't like go to the grocery store to get it. What up?
Finest thing just said he's on the way.
Oh, okay. Fashionably late. POA 56. Okay. Study CPA and learn more about 1099s. There's a process with 1099s. People were getting him up with the 1099s because they were doing them wrong. Like you can't. People think you can just like, oh, let me just send this 1099 over ID and get this money. Nah, bruh. That's how you get hemmed up. If you're gonna do a process, you have to understand the process, like my man Tony's talking about right here. You can't just walk in with a 1099 and leave the dealership with a car. It's not gonna work. People say it does, but I don't believe that shit.
I haven't seen one person yet show me actual proof.
Yep. You file Form 56 with accepted for value verbiage on it, along with sending them your copy of the UCC. Good idea for that. Pastor Divine has the remedy. Which remedy you talking about, boss? Bigfoot got a shot to his rocks. Yeah, got canceled for a minute. I did $1 million silver bond as the collateral. Bill State National. Can you talk about that? What's happening, fellas? Appreciate y'all. What up, Brian? Studying and learning more daily. I have so many books to read. Private plates are on the way. Let's get it. Let's do it. Hey, man.
Let's go.
When you get out there and stuff, I literally been riding past people. They be looking at my stuff like, hey, what kind of tags are those? When I had the traveling plates, this one guy just rolled past me. He was like, yo, where you get them plates from? I said, man, I got them online. He's like, yo, I need some of those, man. I said, you're a U.S. citizen. They gonna yank you up.
I mean,
You know,
you can't just throw them on, bro. You got to do some things.
I mean, you can, and you might get away with it, but the likelihood of you rocking out like that when you're still a debtor slave is not really very high.
Yeah, I mean, you can, but like you said, when it hits the fan,
Yep,
and cherries
and
and
it will hit
berries
the
are on
fan.
you,
It
and
will hit the fan because they're gonna test you.
oh yeah, and you don't know what to say other than, well, I just got them on offline.
Yeah, that's not gonna work at all.
No, they're gonna be like, I'm gonna need you to get out of the car, sir.
With that exact face, with the smile on their face. And you know what's crazy? I seen people doing a right to travel thing online, and the police. I kind of feel like the police officers have heard it before, but they'll only really fuck. Well, for the most part, they'll only really mess with you if you don't know what you're doing, and they'll ask you certain questions to get you off your square to see if they can, if you really know what you're doing. Because I remember this one guy got pulled over in Baltimore for doing it. And he basically gave him some kind of Moorish nationality document. I don't think he had the ID, but he told him he didn't need a license because he was traveling. He basically told him he's a Moorish national, such. And then the guy was basically trying to hound him for a driver's license, the cop. So he basically said, "Do you have a supervisor?" He said, "Yeah." He said, "All right, I would like your supervisor." So he's like, "How they get?" I'm not giving you no supervisor. He's like, "I like to remain silent." So dude stopped talking. So dude hit his radio. Still asking him questions. He wouldn't answer nothing. The supervisor came. It was like, "Is this your first time doing this?" Because I've seen guys do this before that are a lot more experienced than you. I told him that shit. So they gave him a ticket or whatever like that. They
Is this your first night out?
Right, yeah. So he said it was his first stop. I thought he handled it exceptionally well. Though. I will give him that. He didn't back down. He wasn't afraid. He wasn't. He didn't look that nervous. But they did threaten to tow his car, and the tow truck pulled up. But I think they called the tow truck off because dude stood by his guns. So he wouldn't get out the car or nothing. So the tow truck did a U-turn. You can actually see it pull away in the background. It was very interesting. But I think he still had his stuff registered though, man. Somebody hit me up the other day too and was like, "Yo, I got my car got towed. What happened?" He says, "My car got towed. I gave him the passport and they still gave me a ticket. What happened?" I said, "Oh, well, first off, did you have your documents in your car?" Said, "What documents?" "Strike one." Look at his face. I said, "All right, well, did you turn the license in?" He's like, "Well, I still drive commercially." I said, "I get it, but strike two." You know what I mean? So I said, "Well, did you deregister your car?" I said, "What kind of plates you have on?" "Well, I still got the old plates on." "Well, come on, man. Like, what do you want me to say at this point?" I mean, like, you doing it you literally doing it wrong. This is not how you do it. If you and some people are like, "Yo, I don't really want to take my place off. I want to turn my driver's license in." If you don't want to turn your driver's license in, then you can keep trying to straddle the fence, but you're gonna have to be in court a few times because they're gonna try you. If they see you got an active license, they're gonna pull you in by contract.
Yeah,
You gotta
have
have
anything they can use. It's still a pending contract.
exactly.
When I break it down to people like this, like, look, like if you hire somebody and you paid them good money to do work for you, you want them to finish the job, right? People are like, well, yeah. All right. Well, as far as they're concerned, you have a contract with them and you are a moneymaker to them. They want you to finish the job. You're still on contract until you get rid of your contracts. All right. And you can even get rid of all your contracts and they'll still try to bring up some old stuff just to try to mess with you. So the bare minimum is if you have to get rid of all those things, because at least if you don't have them, everything's closed as far as you can handle it. You can tell the courts to piss off because you don't have an active contract. Those are old and expired. Like what happened with me a long time ago. Dude tried to use old information. And I sent them a letter and I was like, when I try to use any ID that's expired, they say you can't use it because it's expired. That is fraud.
That's facts.
So how are you going to try to give me a ticket on something that's expired?
Exactly.
That's fraud.
Exactly. That is the cleanest cut reason I've heard. You cannot use. All right, so look, boom. If you get caught, let's say driving, if you're literally driving and you got a driver's license that expired 2 weeks ago, get out the car. You know what I mean? You have an expired license. So how is it that you're trying to pull me in by contract when I don't even have the contract's not valid? You know what I mean? So it don't make sense at that point. It's completely asinine.
Now it's
Especially if he
different.
said he's not driving, he's traveling.
It's different if it's suspended. If it's suspended, that means that it's still pending. But expired, you have to get a whole new one, because they'll tell you you have to get it renewed. You have to get a new one. I can't take this. This is expired. Like, by all means, try to do something with them with an expired license. They're going to be like, no, this is not valid. It's not valid. So you're not going to give me no ticket on something that's not valid when I try to use it and you tell me.
He got you skipping out again. Last sentence skipped out.
Oh, no, I was just talking about the driver's license being not valid. You know what I mean?
1,000%. Yep. But yeah, you gotta terminate the contracts, man. And when you get rid of the registration, when you register any of your stuff, you're literally saying that the state has jurisdiction over your shit. That's basically what a registry is. That's the whole reason people get, people are looking for allodial titles for their houses. People deregister their whips before they put private plates on them. These are all reasons they do such. So yeah, that's the ways.
Everything,
and I've been telling
everything
people,
in the world. Everything in the world is all contracts and business.
Mm-hmm.
So if you have 100%. Anything that's theirs, it's a contract. You are obligated by law to perform to those duties. Otherwise, it is a violation of contract. It's a breach in contract law.
Yep. I've actually heard of there's a guy who wasn't I think he's out there by where you at, Wolf. And this dude went to he changed his address to general delivery. This is what I've been telling people. We've been studying the general delivery in the Foreign National News Network group. We've been going over into general delivery, and I've been explaining how general delivery and some of these consultations can pull you out of a lot of shit. So if it's a situation where, first off, anybody who's walking this path and exercising their right to travel, if you have any contracts at all that are still lingering, which, let's be honest, a lot of you do still have contracts that are lingering. Even things like banks, invoices and stuff like that. Change your address if you want to be completely private. Stop using your home address. All right, stop using the home address, because when they ask you what your address is and you give them an address, first off, only a legal fiction can live in a fictional address. So if they ask you what your address is, they're asking you two questions. One, they're asking you, are you a legal fiction? And two, they're asking you, do you live in our jurisdiction? When you give them an address, you're literally claiming to be both. So now they got jurisdiction. It's that simple. What I recommend people do is start to use general delivery. Form 1527. You can go right inside your post office. Grab your pen and paper and write this down. Form 1527. You can literally go inside your post office and you can get a pink rectangular form. You're going to have to ask the manager, because the gatekeepers do not know what general delivery is. I walked into the post office 2 weeks ago and asked, I'd like to set up general delivery. And the lady was like, huh? You mean what? What does that mean? I told her general delivery. I like to get my mail, start getting my mail here. She said, okay, you want a P.O. box? No, ma'am, I don't want a P.O. box. I want general delivery. She says, I don't know what that is. So this other lady next to it says, it's a real thing. Why aren't you going to have to ask the manager, because I don't know how to set it up. She goes to get the manager. Manager comes outside. So I'm talking to the man. I hate doing business in lobbies because everybody's listening. It's a pain in the ass. And then, I don't mind it, but it's a pain in the ass for me. So I'm like, all right, manager comes over and says, here's the form right here. So I had the pink form in my hands. And she tells me, you can get general delivery, but you can only get it for 30 days maximum. And then, after that, you can't have it anymore. So I hear what she said. And I'm reading the form, because I read shit when people give it to me. So I look at the bottom of the form, and it says, matter of fact, let me see if I think I still got a copy here. Let's see. Let me read it to you. There it is. I made a copy of it. All right, so when you go in there and you actually turn in the form, get them to make a copy of it is proof that you changed your address. Just in case you have to go to like a bank and they ask you for proof you changed your address, you can bring this with you. Get a copy made, and it doesn't cost anything. So this is what the paper actually says. Form 1527 from the post office, United States Postal Service application for general delivery service. It says at the bottom, general delivery mail can be held for no more than 30 days unless otherwise agreed upon by the postmaster. This 30-day time limit specifies how long individual mail pieces are held. It does not limit how long an individual customer may receive general delivery service. So she told me I can only have general delivery for 30 days. I said, well, ma'am, the form you literally just handed me in my hand says that you can hold a piece of mail for 30 days and then it goes back return to sender. But you can't tell me that I can't have general delivery service as long as I want. So she tried to go back and forth. I said, ma'am, can you please read this, this sentence right here? I'm not here to argue. I'm not here to be a jerk or nothing. I'm not here to make your job difficult, but I know what I'm reading. So she tried to spin it or whatever like that. So she says, well, go ahead and write your address on there because it might be delayed. So she made up some lame ass excuse as to why general delivery might not go through right away.
Yeah,
I
trying
said,
to save face.
oh yeah, it was, she was the manager and she tried to confront me in the damn lobby and everybody was watching and I said, man, I'm literally reading a form and people was looking at her like you can't read. Like, you know what I mean? Like you can't read, motherfucker. So
do you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth?
you understand the words in the form you just literally gave this man that he's reading to you? So long story short, I ended up setting the joint up and yeah, you go ahead and do that. And then what you do is you go in the there's actually a gentleman who said he was like, yo, you need to go in your DMV and you need to get a continuous traveler's license. What a continuous traveler's license is, it allows you to put general delivery on the bottom. I never even heard of this, so I'm looking for something here in Maryland, but I didn't see it here. But there is one in Wisconsin, I believe. It's called a continuous traveler's license. So he said he had to go talk to the main manager to find out exactly what it was, and he ended up getting a continuous traveler's license. So the reasoning was, I'm a continuous traveler. I don't have an address, but you don't. You don't have an address because you're a man or you're a woman. You don't have an address. You know what I mean? So you would use continuous traveler. So when they put it on your bottom of your identification, that's what it would say. So there's no basically what that means is when they send you mail, it goes right to the post office. You got to go pick your mail up. Just bring your passport card or your passport book. You'll be able to pick your mail up and keep it rolling. Now, guy says he had got arrested for not wearing a mask. And when they locked him up, they got pissed off because they saw the passport and they didn't like that. And then they found something else and it had general delivery. Then they saw another one, general delivery. They were getting pissed like, where do you live? He said general delivery.
Yep, because it doesn't give them any jurisdiction. They want to see that zip code.
Yeah, that's what they need. They need that. They need the zip code and they need the numerical address.
Because so the Republic is here. It's the ground land. We own that. What they do is they have an invisible overlay on paperwork over the real land. And so when you use anything here on their level, you're bringing yourself to that level. Okay. So that's why they need to have something that shows that you're on their level of the matrix. If you have general delivery or rule-free delivery or whatever else, that's out of their jurisdiction. Just like with the 98 number, you get it set up in Canada or wherever else, you're out of their jurisdiction. You're out of their sandbox. If you're in their sandbox, they rule. Yep. You're a federalized state employee, and you are a ward. This is how they exactly said it: is that when you use the zip code, you are a ward in that lot of land.
Yep.
So whatever your zip code is, you're a ward of that lot. you are an orphan that they control on a government piece of land that they don't really own, that you own, but you gave them jurisdiction because you merged their paper level with your real life level.
Mm-hmm.
And you brought your stuff from this level to their level on paper. And now they own it.
It's all dead entities, man. And just think about it for a second, Wolf. When they ask you, where do you live? Think about it for a second. Where do you live? All right. So if you were to say, I live at 123 Super Saiyan Road or whatever like that. Okay, so you're not in 123 Super Saiyan Road. So what you're saying is you're not alive. So now you just created dishonor because you're saying you're dead. And since you're dead and you just claim to be dead, we're the dead entities that have jurisdiction over the dead because the corporations are dead as well. They're not living corporations. You see what I'm saying? That's the trickery.
Yeah.
The
Well,
word.
and that's once again why when they say, "Do you understand?" We know it means to stand under their power, but what they're really saying is if this is the line between the living, and this is the line, and then from here down is the dead. If you understand, and they're already dead, then you are underneath a dead person, which means they are closer to being living, so they are the superior entity in that scenario. So we overstand because we as the living stand over the dead.
100%.
That's what they're saying. That's what they're doing.
Yep. Oh, that's a great explanation there, man. That's how I learned of Logan Paul for the first time. It was 2017. He was in Japan in commercials. He filmed a dead body in the forest in one of his videos on YouTube. I guess it was controversial stuff. I didn't hear anything about that.
Yeah, I remember that now. That's true. Yeah, because they were it was controversial for one, showing a dead body, and then two, because they consider it to be like a sacred area, even though it's kind of a hush hush thing. So it's very taboo to reveal it, put it on TV, and show a body there. Like you kind of expose their private wound.
Yeah, that's facts. I did remote viewing once as a child and been trying to do it again ever since. Yes, it's powerful stuff, man. Thomas Lewin, Volume 1, page 272. I'm not sure what that is, Living Man, but that sounds interesting.
That one I don't know that one.
Check out ARE Library, has on dreams. Yeah, the library, the dream library. Yeah, dreams have different meanings, man. Like if you see a dream that shows or depicts something, it doesn't necessarily mean what you're looking at or what you think you're looking at.
Right. The Akashic record, okay, or the Akashic library. I've had dreams of being there, you know, and I've heard other people talk about it as well. Even Edgar Casey talked about accessing the information from there because all of time and space, everything that ever has, is, or was, is all energy. Okay. And it's all stored somewhere. And so we're able to access it. I mean, I can't say I can just be like, oh, I'm going there tonight or something, but I've been to what looks like a library and had infinite knowledge in it in my dreams. So I believe that's what it was.
Fire. For form of the disclaimer should be by dead, for a dead is clear evidence and admits of no ambiguity, and the instrument should be a disclaimer and not a conveyance. Continue. For the latter, it transmits to the estate and has been held to imply previous acceptance of the office. E, for a person cannot be allowed to disclaim the office and accept the estate. I think that's all of them. Yeah, my man's got some information there for you guys, Living Man. Bill State National, don't drink too much silver. You will turn green. It doesn't go away. Too much of anything is not good. I actually heard it's blue. I heard there was a guy that turned blue because he drank too much colloidal silver. But I heard that was a lie, though. Somebody said that was cat.
It was if you drink an excessive amount, it can change the hue of your skin. But he was doing something else besides that. That is what turned him that color, and it damaged his coloring. So, but I believe it will come back at some point in time because he's not maintaining it. But it's going to take a long time because, you know, your body, it takes months to replenish all of your cells. Like you're literally deteriorating your old body and it's rebuilding a new body. So it's going to take a long time. So, but yeah, you never want to drink too much or take too much of anything. It's everything in moderation, you know, because your system can't handle all of it. That's why you're supposed to have trace elements, you know, in your body, not large quantities.
For the latter, about to buy that silverware right now, man. I'm hating, bro. My man said I'm gonna be out here dining. He ain't even eating no more. He dining now.
Dude, just gonna be on YouTube eating steak.
That's how you know you're balling out when you got silver forks and knives, bro.
Right?
Like, what, yo? I'm hating, man. Yeah, you ever get sick on Goldschlager? You'll never drink it again. Used to drink that way back in the day. I used to love that because it's golden and I thought I was rich. The Goldschlager's got a smooth taste though.
Never on Goldschlager, but definitely on what is that? Jägermeister. gin.
I can't stand that stuff.
Ugh.
Your Jägermeister, bro. Oh my gosh.
Not only was it bad, we were doing that earlier because we ran out of liquor at this party. But then I got dared in my younger days where I pretty much didn't say no to any dare that was feasible. And so they mixed Jaeger and gin together. And that was the first time I ever had alcohol poisoning, and it was all bad.
Oh my gosh. That sounds like OD. That's too much.
You never had alcohol poisoning? Let me tell you.
Hey, nah.
Unfortunately, it wasn't my last time, but I'll tell you this: I steer clear of that now.
Yeah, I never got to a beyond belief, but like that. The worst I got trashed when I was out with my mans. We had just did a show, and I went out. We were at Adams Morgan. I think I was like maybe 23, and 23, 25, 24. You could just drink. You know what I mean? Wake up the next day, go to work, go back, do it again. It's crazy. Yeah. So I'm out Adams Morgan with my mans, whatever. We just got done doing a rap show, whatever. So we go out to Adams Morgan to party with a dude named Dank, another rapper, whatever. So we out there, man. Long Island iced teas was the weapon of choice back then, bro. I drank 3 Long Island iced teas.
Bro, yes.
I was gone, son. Yo, I was gone, man. Yeah, dude, that was crazy. Yeah, good times. People would steal your drawers if they could, especially if they got silver on them. Sad thing is that people you meet now will be more loyal than your own family. Yo, that is disturbingly facts because, like, literally some of you guys I'm actually cooler with than some of my so-called family members. And I'm not talking about my immediate family, but like, you know what I mean? Like, cousins and aunts I don't even talk to no more on a certain side, bro. And it's just crazy the way that works. But yeah, Yeah, I recall you live with the phone and the stone. Yes, sir.
Yeah, it's crazy because I got people like U6 and some of the viewers that show me more respect, care about what's going on with me than my own real family. You know what I mean? I got people around the other world that check in with me from Australia to Canada to wherever else. And they're like, hey, if you need something, I got you. I ain't seen no videos in a while. Meanwhile, I got cats who live right down the street and don't stop,
right?
That are my blood, and I'm like, or I don't hear from, then moved away. And it's like, wow, okay, that's cool. It's cool.
That's how it is, man. But
keep that same energy up though when you need something from me.
Exactly. That's how it be. They need something, they all up in your face. I'm gonna tell you something though, man. It goes deeper than blood, man. It's more of a tribe thing, bro. Like you gotta find your tribe. You find your tribe and you just rock with them. You know what I mean? Your spiritual tribe is important. I can't wait until I get my private place. Yes, sir. Make sure you keep your paperwork on you. Where that video at 6? What video, man? what we talking about? You talking about the joint where I was drinking? You'll never see that video. Does a person have to do the same procedure with authenticate to protect their children? I would.
Yeah,
I would do your passport. I would do your authentication, all that stuff. Same shit you did for you. But I think you can actually claim the child straw man on the UCC one though, because you are the quote unquote legal guardian, legal quote unquote. But that's the ens legis term.
Yeah.
And straw man is a legal guardian, pretty much. But yeah, so with that said, you can actually claim them on your UCC one.
Yep. Do the authentication, the UCC one. You can even do the Minnesota Rule 220. I also recommend that one, and make your claims, because if not, they're a vessel lost at sea.
Yeah. I need a UCC one file. Any suggestions on services? Man, the best way to do something is to do it yourself, bro. Pick up that redemption manual 4.5. All right, and just follow read it too, and follow the directions, because they explain everything so easy anybody with a brain can get it. Y'all, everybody on this live and who watches these channels are smart, so you guys can do it. But yeah, redemption manual. I think you had that, Cash. I thought you had the redemption manual already.
I did a video on the UCC one on how to do it for free. Now, one of the things I will say that I've changed since we first started is instead of just doing your name in lowercase lettering, I now recommend doing your name using your given name instead of your legal name. Instead of just going all lowercase lettering, use your legal name or your given name as the creditor.
Right.
You know, versus still trying to hold on to any form of net. I'm telling you right now, the biggest thing is using your given name to get away from their jurisdiction. Period. That is the biggest thing. Get your IDs done. Start getting, like, I got my Amazon set up, the electric bill, all that stuff in my given name. I'm setting a paper trail. When I start running these IDs on the machine I got over here, create my own one, and I'm gonna have my given name on there. Everything I'm changed to the given name. You know, buy a new car, used or whatever, given name. You know, because they don't have jurisdiction over that. Everything you have registered, they have a previous history on it, a DMV record, you know, tickets and fines and this and that and that and that. So you got to get away from that legal name. It's theirs anyway.
Yeah, legal name.
Use your given name. That's where your power's at. That's a whole nation, a house, a clan, a tribe, and you ain't using it. You're the leader of it, and you ain't even using it. So,
facts. Should we send paperwork in any particular order? Some people say you should get your birth certificate authenticated. Some people say DS11 first. I personally, I would say do your DS11. You know, that's what I actually did first, and then I did the authentication later on. So, you know, then in terms of the UCC one, you know, that process is something that you got to take your time with. You can't just slap the paperwork in and keep it pushing. You really have to be, you know, sharp with that. That's why I tell people just do the reading, man. Read the Redemption Manual 4.5. The DMV issued me a cancellation request with their seal, and the lady said, okay, you're completely out of their system. I handed all of my driver's license to her and surrendered. That's crazy because you know what's no, let me ask you a question. Was yours expired already? Was it expired? Because let me tell you something. I done heard stories about people trying to turn theirs in. They like, no, you can't do that. Maryland, they ain't trying to hear that. Maryland, like, hey, why would you want to turn in your license, man?
living man, you got to inbox me on that one. I want to hear how all that went down, what form, what they said, you know, all that. I want the whole tea.
Yeah, 100%. Because let me tell you something. Here, bro, they tried to say, pursuant to such and such statute, you know how they do. Our statutes, codes, and regulations, it's illegal to drive. Well, like, I already know it's illegal to drive. I don't plan on driving. I don't need to drive.
All right? I ain't driven in years.
Exactly. So like y'all can, you know what I mean? Like purge that from your system. Oh, well, we don't have to do anything. Like, all right, cool. I mean, go ahead and take this lawsuit. Sometimes you gotta take it there with them, you know what I mean? But yeah. I know one dude, I know he actually tried to drop his off, and they say, yeah, you can't do that. You can't drop your license off. What do you mean I can't drop it off? Yeah, we can't take that. So what I suggest people do, registered mail or certified mail with a return green slip. Make a copy of the letter after you get it notarized, basically rescission of contract. Send it to them, keep a record, staple it in a binder, you put it somewhere safe in case you need it. Because they might try you, yo. You might end up in court. They might say, your license, nah, yo, that license has been turned in right here. Yo, I don't have a contract with the state.
Yeah, one of my clients did all that in CA, and the cop pulled him over, tried to give him a ticket, and cop came back and said, how are you not in the system? and was just distraught. He was like, I guess I gotta let you go. But how did you do that? And he tried to tell him. He was like, well, I'm traveling privately, you know, blah, blah, blah.
There you go. I apologize for being tardy. No doubt. Thank you for joining, Angela. General delivery mail is good to use. Yes, it is. I love general delivery. You can get a virtual address. I heard about the virtual addresses. I heard about that. Another technique people you probably could use. I'm not sure. I've never tried it, but you can actually put the address for the like some let's say you're on the internet and you're trying to fill out an application or something. You know, some of them applications, they don't like certain answers. So if you try to put general delivery, it might not pop up, but you can probably double back and just use the address, the actual physical address for the post office. You know what I mean? And then for delivery, you could just put general delivery on it. You should say you're traveling or in between addresses. Shoot. I ain't in between nothing. I'm just traveling. I'm a continuous traveler. Goddamn. Your Mario coin lamp is cool. Oh, thanks, man. Yeah, I actually had that for a long time, and it was sitting underneath my office. I was like, let me dust this thing off and put it on display. Yeah, thank you though. It's a little pink card. Yep, the 1527 form. To protect your children is required. Excuse me. It is required. Is it required to follow the same authentication procedures with certificate of live birth for each individual, or once the parent has completed theirs, the children are covered? Nah, man. They're different contracts. You gotta get busy on them. Separate contracts.
Yes, sir.
Money, mission, love. Yes, indeed. Living man. Just let them know you were very familiar with the UPU laws and how international laws work. They would give you no problems. A lot of times they don't, but sometimes you get a overstepping asshole, or if you're traveling after the time I specify you should travel, you might get a rookie. You know what I mean? A lot of times when these police officers give you tickets, it's because their dispatcher told them to give you a ticket. A lot of times, you know what I mean?
Well, the judges tell them, if you're not sure, just write the ticket and we'll deal with it in court. Because behind the scenes, once that name is ran and the ticket is applied, that's a new CUSIP number, new case, new bonds are made, and it makes them money either way. No matter what, it makes them money. Just like if you go and do an application for your house and they deny you, even though that's against federal law, okay, them denying you of your credit because you are the creditor, you have unlimited credit, that monetized. You didn't get the money, but the application still gets monetized. Just like a lot of people don't know this one either. They don't want people really to know is that when you go to the bank and you draw a check, say I give Six a check for 20 grand. All right, he cashes a check, he gets the money, it comes from out of my account. But that physical piece of paper, they say they destroy them. They don't get destroyed. That physical piece of paper is a negotiable instrument. It's considered abandoned funds after X amount of time, and then they monetize it, make money. So they're double dipping.
Yeah.
Once again.
Yeah, always. They always do that. I remember I went to not the post office, but the bank last month, and I saw I basically filled out a little form, like you said, and I gave it to her. I said, "Hey, what are you doing with that form?" "Oh, we destroy them." I said, "Well, where are you putting it at now?" And she was looking at me. She looked at me like under the desk. I said, "Okay." And yeah, I knew what the deal was, but she gave me that look like, "Why are you asking me that?"
They don't destroy nothing but our affidavits.
Hey, yeah, how about that? I'll throw them motherfuckers in the trash. Shit. It's your boy here, live from the belly of the beast. Thanks for sending that link. No doubt, man. No doubt. Not sure what link I sent you, but all right.
Oh, that might be one of my guys.
Oh, okay. No doubt. Thank you for joining in, Chris. I appreciate the Postmaster game during the going tomorrow to do it. Yes, indeed. Get busy with it, Tony. I use April like June. She's on YouTube. Yeah, something you talked about her earlier, right? With the UCC one.
Yeah, I think that's what we're.
Keep up the good work, guys. America's waking up. They are, man. You know,
They
I
are.
told you guys when I was at the spring the other day, yo, and I was getting that water. And did you hear about the water in Baltimore, Wolf?
Mm-mm.
Yeah, the water in Baltimore actually got found to have E. coli in it. It was a boil warning. I'm like, I've been telling y'all not to drink that shit for the longest time, but y'all ain't listening to me. And now people down at the spring looking stupid like, is this water clean? I've been telling y'all stupid asses for 2 years. That's all good though, you know. Yeah, I don't judge nobody, but
we had that in the Midwest in the Illy Mill here back in 98 or something like that, 99, where we had a boil advisory for cryptosporidium. And because we have a lot of farm fields and stuff, and so all that water goes downhill. So all those farmers with all their cattle and fertilizer and pesticides and all other stuff mutated the germs, and it just came all downriver, and they weren't purifying it good enough, and everybody had to boil for like 2 weeks.
See, that's that nonsense, Joe. But if you really think about how these pipes actually, all right, you know what, man? I'm instead of me talking, and I know y'all know already, but there's gonna be some newbies who see this. Let me show you what these pipes look like. Show you guys. All right, these pipes that you drink and put the water in your mouth to brush your teeth actually look like. Let me show you. And these are for the people who are new to this channel because you guys are already initiated. but this is what these pipes look like. Look at this shit. Look at it. What is that? Like, what is this? And they'd be like, "Oh, well, we put some chlorine in the pipes to flush it out, or to clean all the crap out of it." Nah, bruh. Nah,
Yeah.
man. Hey, no.
Chlorine and fluoride, and then they deliver the fluoride in trucks with toxic waste chemical suits and masks on, and have to go by EPA permissions and all the other stuff. So yeah, yeah.
Yep. Absolutely freaking not, man. But yeah, I'm good. So, like I said, man, when I rock with any water out of a faucet, it's gonna be with a filter head, 15-stage filter head on it to filter the water completely out. It's got rocks, charcoal, minerals, crystals in it, and yeah, that's how I'm rocking. And then when I'm drinking water, man, I'm rocking with the spring water for real.
Facts.
Yeah, man. That's what it is. Yeah, but that water pipe situation, I was like, yo, I've been telling y'all for the longest time. People definitely waking up though, Chris. The parents sued him for millions for showing their son's dead body. I think that kid lost the channel for that. He didn't actually. Now he's fighting. Shit. He knocked out Tyrone Woodley. That shit was fucking. That was a setup. That fight was so fake, yo. It was ridiculous. They weren't even trying to like really hurt each other. But yeah,
Man, well,
he's making money off fights now. So he did
it's all entertainment. That's like, like even when people were cracking that on Mike Tyson, and they went back and showed the replays of some of those hits and things, I was like, oh,
like, how do we not see this, bro? Like,
I've seen it one time, but I didn't put the whole saga together. I was watching the fight, and he swung. As somebody who's been in, unfortunately, more than my fair share of fights, I know what it's like to connect a hit and be hit hard. Right. Okay. Right. And I seen the one slide over him like he had Vaseline because he was sweating. Yeah. And then the guy kind of like looked and kind of like, oh.
Yeah, then he fell afterwards. I was like, who was that? Who was that? Was that Leon Spinks? I can't remember who that was.
I don't remember, but I was like, that's sketchy. No. I ain't never hardly grazing somebody in a fight and they went down. Hey, bro, I'm gonna just give you that one.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, some dudes get paid to take a dive. That's just what it is. Like, listen, when you got a lot of money on the line with stuff like that, entertainment, somebody's going to take some money under the table to do some sideways shit. You know what
threatened.
I mean? Hell yeah, man. Facts. I was told if someone have a silver dollar walking Liberty coin, that if they're taken to jail, the police aren't allowed to process it due to it being real currency. Didn't hear that. That's interesting.
I've heard that because gold and silver, anything like that, that's lawful money. But does it work all the time? I mean, you might get one or two who know that, but I mean, I wouldn't put my rep and my butt on the line on that. I've heard it. I've never seen it actually happen. I've never met anybody who actually did and said, "Yep, this works." Because at the end of the day, they're just like, "Bro, that's $1. We don't really care that it's
yeah.
Like, ooh, there's not they're like, ooh, it's silver." Like
they might even steal that bitch. Like,
we'll take it. You still owe us another $5,000 for $49.99.
What silver coin? Like Debo. What silver coin?
You still owe $5,000, but I gave you $1. My dollar, punk.
What you got on my bond, man?
My silver. Sign this CUSIP note.
Just need to know if there's a specific order the paperwork needs to be sent in. Okay, so it's a very long story. I will inbox you. Traveling or in between addresses is what you should put in on the 1527 form. Yo, I mean, literally what I put on the 1527 form to receive mail. Like, what the fuck? What do you need general delivery for? To receive mail? Like, what the fuck?
Mail purposes?
I don't know, man. Maybe I'm just a little practical, but I mean, I'm literally it's not like I fell in dishonor. I'm using it to receive mail. What else you want? I should need to apply for anything when it comes to shit like that.
Yeah.
It asks you why you're using general delivery mail for. Yes. A6, I sent you some interesting I found in Ohio, which is where I was born and got the passport through. Also have some info ideas on our plates. A way they can run them and move on. Okay, cool. I'm gonna check into that. It's the shirt for me. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Only thing I'm mad about, they ain't got my man the Green Ranger on here. They got all the rest of the original.
Now I'm gonna take you back a little bit and say,
Don't
where's
say
that
Voltron. Don't say
man?
Voltron. Don't say Voltron. Don't say it, yo.
All right, fine. What else we got?
VR Troopers. Superhuman Samurai, man. Beetleborgs.
What about was it
Masked
GoBots?
Rider. Huh?
Or what was the other one? There was one where they did some Transor Z. You probably ain't old enough to remember them.
Nah.
That's a real old one right there. I barely remember that one.
Nah, I ain't rock with that. Nah, Power Rangers, man, let me tell you something, bro. When Power Rangers came out, son, it was crazy.
Oh yeah, no.
The third grade was crazy, yo, when Power Rangers came out.
Yeah, no, I got down with them too. I'm just teasing because I do remember, Voltron was my first, and then Power Rangers came through. I was like, all right.
Hell yeah. All his fights are rigged. I done seen some knockouts that you can't fake. I done seen them clock dudes before. Now, I don't know if it was an accident or whatever, but I seen them rock cats.
Yeah. I wouldn't say they're all rigged, but put it this way. There's probably some elements of riggery in all of them, but I don't think they were all set up to be like, you're going to absolutely do this. Like, I think somewhere in there, like they were like literally they're athletes, going at it to a degree, but if they were like, yeah, we kind of need you to, because it's all entertainment.
Yeah.
It's all entertainment. And so they're going to be like, hey, what's good for the, for the service or the industry is, you do this,
Build up that super fight, man. The more fights you got under your belt, undefeated, you know what I mean? They looking for that next guy who can give you the challenge, possibly knock you out. Meanwhile, this other guy's been doing the same thing, give you a bunch of bums to fight, or to have a couple good guys take a dive to pay them a little bit under the table, build up this multi-million-dollar super fight, sell a pay-per-view, bring all the tickets in, man. Stream this bad boy everywhere, collect money from every end. Have these dudes face off. Let it be this, don't knock each other out. Just go in there and give it a good guff. Have it be a part 2 and 3. Like, dude, it's a business at the end of the day. And in order to turn an investment, you got to turn attraction. It's an entertainment, like you said, I mean, keep in mind, I do like to see motherfuckers beat the hell out of each other on the same token. But, at the end of the day, it's a business, man. And anything to continue the business making money. And especially how bad boxing has been hurting because of MMA, you're going to start to see that even more. That's why the Tyrone Woodley joint happened with homeboy we were talking about earlier. And then that's why the other joint happened too with Mayweather and McGregor. Like, this boxing's literally turning into a parody at this point. But the reason for that is because of the draws. They're struggling right now. Floyd Mayweather retired. That was the biggest cat they had on the card at the time. He was the biggest draw. So, yep. Yeah, Ronda Rousey and Conor McGregor.
Entertainment is commerce, and commerce is business. That's what it's all about. If you're in the industry, you sign these contracts, and they put information in there where you're signing, and you're basically agreeing that there might be some gray area in what you're going to do. You're going to go out there and do that, but you're going to kind of do what we want you to do. And you're going to abide by that, or you're out. They're going to blackball you. Okay, once you're blacklisted, you're done. Why do you think some of these actors and whoever else it's not like they're all just falling off. Some of them are getting blacklisted when they own when the higher you go up in their pyramid, in their jurisdiction, they're pulling the strings. And let's just say we know who's pulling the majority of the strings in the entertainment industry. Okay. But the lower half is really the ones who mainly operated, but any of them can, the top part of the pyramid, say, yeah, this is what we want so-and-so to do. And that's what's going to happen, because they're going to say, we got your contract. You're under contract. Everything's contract. Yep. You're going to do your contract, or you're going down. We'll replace you. That's
exactly, because there's a billion dudes trying to get a
job anywhere, because they all work together.
Yep. That's it.
Just like what was it? Harvey Weinstein or whatever.
Oh yeah. He was the fall guy.
Look at all that. You tell me nobody knew about him all these years he was doing that?
He was the fall guy, but he was put there, he was sloppy with his shit. He was the fall guy. Like, the guys that was above him did not get touched or scathed.
You ain't never, okay, By the way, Hail Hydra. The Hydra, the Hydra snake, or the creature, has at least 5 heads. All right, and you thinking you're cutting off the main head, and you're not. A new one grows back, and then another one. But you'll never figure out which ones are the top heads of the Hydra. Or let me say this: even if you find out, they're the ones who ain't never going to be arrested, because they're the ones who created the system for people to be arrested.
Exactly.
But
like,
but even they know the system has to have some loss, so they will sacrifice one of their pieces to keep themselves in the dark.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And the guys, you know what's crazy? The dudes that get in them positions, that get taken down, they already know what they there for. Like, look, this is the deal. You go ahead and get in this spot. Eventually, you probably gonna have to take a fall, but look, we're gonna pay you real well up until then. And when you lock down, we'll make sure you get put in a nice area, all that stuff. We'll send you all these amenities. Keep your mouth shut. When you get out, you got friends in high places still. Your family's gonna be taking care of all that. That's how it works.
Yeah,
they in there, they party while they on the top, and then they take the fall. They go away. You know what I mean? They come out afterwards, and they back in that high spot doing what they do again.
Yeah, I mean, look at like half the musical artists out there. You know, they have their hot streak, and then they're just done, right? They got their money and kind of did their thing. Well, why aren't they still bumping hits 20 years later, 15 years later, trying to stay relevant? It's because the industry is like, yeah, we're not going to promote your stuff. You're going to be like more like B. All right, we want to promote, like, what are they doing now? Like, some of these songs are like, Molly Percocets, talking about they're dead. When you listen to the music, the industry is pushing what they want. Mm-hmm. Because many people are programmable by hearing the same stuff over and over, and it's detuning your spirit. Your spirit is an energy frequency, and you're programming it with what you see, eat, hear, smell, experience. Those are all factors that are programming your soul like a computer. Whether you can say it doesn't, but all of a sudden I play your song on, and you're gonna start, oh yeah, I know that one, or you're like, yeah, Molly Percocet, Molly, and they're programming you. You have to have a strong enough mind to hear it, but not let it influence you. Like me, and I'm not gonna lie, I listen to some of that stuff too.
Some of it rock, you know what I mean? But yeah. The thing about it, that's why when you hear a song, you'd be like, "Oh, I hate that song. Why can't I get it out of my head?" It's programming.
Yeah,
it's literally repetition.
It's rhythmic. Repetition. They know how many, where to put the hook, where to do this, where to do that, and
it's a science to that shit.
Yeah, 100%. Even the frequencies that it travels on. Like, what was it? Mozart. I like to deprogram every once in a while by listening to some classical music. Just I don't want to hear nothing but just some nice tones and melodies. And I think he rocks. Was it 430? 430 hertz?
Yeah.
I think that's the deprogramming, where it removes negative energy and then it uplifts your consciousness. So I'll listen to some Mozart classical music all the time.
Classical music is my jam. I like classical, man.
I'll go to sleep to that. I'll wake up like, yeah, I'm ready. I'm vibrant. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I can always tell when I don't, because it's like a normal morning. Like, oh, yeah, okay.
I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna take it a step further, man. I was listening to this interview by Cat Williams, and man, a lot of these young rappers is getting blown away, man. They're getting shot, dying in robberies and stuff. Cat Williams made a great point. He said, "Yo, the reason why a lot of these young rappers are dying is because these record labels are taking out insurance policies on these kids, and they don't know. They young, they getting a little bit of cheese, so they out there spending bread. Little do they know that contract they signed came with $100 million life insurance policy.
Yep.
So, instead of having to pay you such and such every such and again." They might get somebody from your neighborhood who a hater anyway, or a couple people from your neighborhood to knock you off. You know what I mean? They get that insurance paid. They make themselves a beneficiary in the policy. They get that insurance money, break your mother off some bread, and keep it pushing. Next rapper, same thing.
And then who gets the unfortunate task of keeping the masters?
Exactly. It's literally a complete screw job. They got your masters, your family can't eat. That little bit of cheese they broke your mom off, or whoever was in your family with, what I mean? That's pennies compared to what they're about to make. Now, they might break them off with like $5 million, but compared to the grand scheme of things, they're gonna get continuous masters royalties. They're getting the payment from the goddamn insurance company for you dying, and a bunch of other stuff too, likeness, all of that stuff. And when you sign the contract, you basically signed everything over. So the music is garbage anyway for the most part, and you don't have no stake in terms of keeping the culture alive. So you basically just a throwaway at this point. You literally a tax write-off. And that's the thing about it, man, with this music. And a lot of these guys don't realize that. And the older cats try to tell them, and they're like, "Oh, they just old. They just haters, man. We just getting
Ain't
this
trying to
money,
listen to you old heads.
right? We just getting this money, man. You know." But that's what it is. So the game is definitely rigged. I mean, still don't want to get hit by Tyson. No, absolutely freaking not.
No. Hey, it is no disrespect, Mike. If in case you're out there, all right. I'm just saying some of them things might have been a little sketch. You know, do your do. I ain't taking nothing away from the artist of the craft, and I still the TF don't want to get hit by it.
Hell no. Yo, did you hear that story about Pun and Fat Joe in New York?
Mm-hmm.
So there's a story. I'm pretty sure a lot of guys with hip hop heads on here heard the story. So Fat Joe and Big Pun in New York in a nightclub. So they decided, without the whole squad, they go down there dolo. So they go in the bad boy and they try to tell Pun to take his shoes off so he can go through the metal detector. So Pun is like, I ain't taking my shoes off. I'm goddamn 400 pounds. Fuck y'all. Blah blah blah. So they get into an argument with the bouncers. So it turned from two bouncers because them dudes is big. Pun and Fat Joe is large dudes. So it turned from two large bouncers. They said they looked up and it was like 7 of them. They was like, "Oh, we about to get fucked up." So they said they get ready to square up with these bouncers, man. And out of nowhere, they hear a voice like, "Man, fuck these motherfuckers, man." They turn around, it was Mike Tyson taking his shoes off, ready to help him out. They said Tyson was chasing one of the bouncers around the club. He was like, "Yo, make him stop, man. Make him stop." Yeah, no, I don't think anybody wants to get hit by Tyson, dude. Facts. Even if you're 800 pounds, but you ain't trying to get your chin checked.
I mean, you're gonna get paid, but you're gonna be sipping through a straw for the rest of your life. Quan X.
Oh, my man. Thank you for tuning in, G. Trans or Z. You talking about
yeah. Somebody's old enough to know that one.
It's all commercial. It's all commercial. Yep. Yes, sir. That's what keeps our people distracted and the lack of depth for knowledge of information.
True that.
Kimbo and Chuck Liddell were two fearsome brawlers. Yeah, Chuck Liddell was, Kimbo Slice was a rare breed because this dude, he was able to take it from the street to MMA, which you can make whatever, you can judge his performance in the ring, however you want, but you can't deny the fact that he was notorious on them streets with them hands.
His street life and his street game was real. You've seen that. There's no nothing on that. I think he commercialed up a little bit, but that's what it is. When you go into the commercial ring, they're going to tell you, okay, I used to do modeling and a little bit of acting and all that kind of stuff back in the day. And when you get into those arenas, it's a different, you can go in there thinking you're going to change the game. Nope. You're going to find you don't change the devil changes you. All right. And so if you want to make that money, they're going to say, hey, look, this is what we want you to do if you want to make a little bit more cheddar. All right. And if you don't play ball, then, well, we're just not going to book you on a whole lot of more gigs. You feel me? You playing ball, you on a team, you got a choice to make. I mean, that's how they came at Dave Chappelle. That's how they came at, half these other brothers in Hollywood who then wore dresses. That's how they approach you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Either you're going to play the game because somebody above them gave them the word. They're giving you the word. And you're going to do what it do. You're in the arena. This is how we get down at the backyard barbecue where you're going to get got.
100%. Those bare knuckle boxing matches, yo, man. And women, bro, that's a different breed. All that padding is gone now. Yeah, I saw the bare knuckle fights, man. That happened. They actually got bare knuckle, what is it called? BKFC or something like that. Those joints they pretty dope, yo. The only thing about bare knuckle boxing, just like with street fighting, your career doesn't last long because you're literally taking your bones on your hand and you're literally checking other bones, in somebody's face or skull.
Yeah,
and
you might burn out.
Yeah, you're going eventually. You know what I mean? Your hand's going to tap out on you. But they say bare knuckle fighters, even back in the day before they had boxing with gloves, those bare knuckle championship fights, they didn't last. The careers didn't last long. Yeah, the joints. You know what I mean? They didn't last very long, man.
But see, the industry is promoting, 3-second memory span, burnout, high entertainment, high flash value, because people start to see that blood. They see the real bruising. They start to see motherfucking or getting muffed up.
Yep.
and people are liking like, oh, that looks jazzy. That don't look fake. That, you know, so people are on it, and they're willing to pay these people a lot of money because they know they're going to burn out, and the industry is going to have all the rights to it, and they're going to make money for all in memorial. That person, their lifespan is only going to be what, 30, 40 years in the industry, maybe 5, 7, maybe 8. Okay. But the company who promoted it and has the rights to all that, as long as they play that, money's going to be made.
Yeah.
Like I said, I've been a businessman and in some of the stuff. And like I said, I've learned a lot. You know, I've been in a lot of things that I've even, you know, all I can say is like, yeah, you're gonna play. Either you're gonna play or you're gonna walk away. That's pretty much it.
Brian Bean says, I had one in my wallet when they unlawfully detained me. Don't work. The silver coin. I was never properly identified, but fee schedule is racked up. Appreciate y'all. Have a good night. Hey,
that's what I'm talking about right there. There you go. Somebody just said, yeah, the silver coin. They're gonna be like, you stole $5,000, but I gave you that dollar silver coin. What dollar silver coin?
What you got on my 40 ounce?
What you got on my silver, homie?
The future don't even take perks. I remember hearing that story about Pun and Joe. You ever see that picture of Big Pun when he was alive in a 3-piece suit, like 2020? Nah, 220. He said, nah, I don't think I saw that. Nah, dude was hilarious, but yeah, Pun was dope. But yeah, man, that's what it is, man. So and we're gonna wrap it up for the night, man. We're creeping up on 2 hours, man. Excellent show today, man. Finest thing walking is MIA. But
I hit him up. I even sent him the link, but he didn't get back to me. I think he might have.
He probably got a shorty over or something. You know how he rolls.
I think he got hemmed up by the Punani Tsunami squad.
I ain't mad at that, man. I ain't mad at that at all. Yes, sir. Russians have, I saw the phone booth bare knuckle fight. Yo, just get ridiculous. Motherfuckers is fighting in phone booths, yo. Like, God,
bro, you see that one where they're doing now where they tie you together, your left arm, and then you fight across the table instead of like arm wrestling. You just hold, but you got to swing, and you can't go nowhere until somebody.
Oh yeah, I did at the table. Yeah, I did see that.
Yeah, I was like,
shit is crazy. Like. They got all kinds of ways to distract you, man.
Bro,
they even got MMA. They got parkour MMA too. You ever see that? They literally got acrobatics, like they jump over like fences and stuff like that. They're set up in a course, and they do MMA fighting. Like so somebody might tackle somebody, and you know what I mean, put them in a footlock or something like. It's crazy. They got a whole bunch of ways to get busy though, man. All kinds of stuff out there.
They getting jazzy, boy.
I'm telling you. But yeah, man, look, we creeping up on 2 hours, man. Thank you guys for tuning in, man. Wolf, you've been more than a great guest today. So I'm pretty sure everybody else agrees. Always great to have you on the live. I'm gonna let you go ahead and have the floor.
All right. Well, I definitely want to thank you, Six, for having me and your alter ego on the show.
Misbehaving coyote. Misbehaving coyote.
I'm going to call him Z9 Grind Time. So thank you for having me on the show. As always, you provide lots of good entertainment and information, and the clientele is always top notch. So definitely appreciate it. So let's get those likes up for my man. So if you guys can just go ahead and hit that like, hit that subscribe. If you haven't done that already, send the man, hey, flash your Cash App. Let's get that going. Support him. And even though I got my own channel, do my own thing, I support this brother right here. I send him some cash all the time. So y'all can do the same. Any amount is cool because it helps me and him to get, books and have a little extra time to dedicate to bringing you guys this knowledge. And then, so you guys don't have to hunt down 20 million books. We can go through all of them, find the one or two things and bring it to you guys, and you guys can focus on it. So we appreciate you guys. We know that you guys are out there sharing our information. And improving your lives. So thank you for everything you guys that we see and don't see. And as always, and I don't know if this happened for Six yet, I know it's happened for me, but if you see anybody out there using any of our information in a negative way or calling us out of our names, sovereign citizens, use that report button over there to get them for defamation of character. and bullying and harassment. So we thank you guys in advance. I appreciate always coming on. You know, I'm always welcome. You're always welcome on my show. I got to get you over on there. I think either next week or the week after, I'm gonna set something up with you to have you come on. So find a time that's good. Other than that, everybody, take care of yourselves, and just know that we appreciate you guys, because without you, we wouldn't be able to do what we're doing, and you guys are helping us to make dreams come true. So you guys are helping us. So take this information and help yourselves, your family, and your friends. And with that being said, I'm done. Wolf is out.
Yes, indeed. So we will be back live and direct, live in effect, Sunday, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time as usual. I am A6, the 4 National Born Natural, and I will catch you on the flip side. Peace.